Now, in the face of war, human rights violations, epidemics, and the dire living conditions of a refugee camp, one only hopes for a brighter future. In today's social media segment, we examine how social entrepreneurship can turn even the most advanced situations into a better tomorrow. Here to discuss our topic is Zachary D. Kaufman, editor of the book Social Entrepreneurship in the Age of Atrocities, Changing Our World. Mr. Kaufman, welcome to the show, Africa 54.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'd like you briefly first to define what is social entrepreneurship.
Social entrepreneurship is any innovative venture, whether for-profit, non-profit, or some combination, which seeks to further a social and/or environmental goal. Social entrepreneurship is, in essence, the privatization and the secularization of activities that used to be considered the sole responsibility or province of government and religious institutions.
Yes. Now, you know, when people are in such advanced situations as genocide or aftermaths, or they live in a refugee camp, people expect them to be mostly self-pitiful and kind of hopeless. How does somebody get into a position where he can get into some project that will uplift him?
Post-genocidal contexts, of course, are in great need of all sorts of assistance and development, whether it be assistance for refugees or orphans or widows, or just post-conflict economic reconstruction itself. And so social entrepreneurship presents an opportunity for indigenous community members, perhaps in partnership with outsiders, to really take control of the situation themselves and try to pursue projects that can help the situation improve.
You have written a fabulous book, The Social Entrepreneurship in the Age of Atrocities, and there are great examples here of how that has been accomplished. Just give us a few that we can highlight, say in a country like Rwanda.
Sure. 3 of the 8 profiled case studies in the book are focused in Rwanda. One is the construction of the country's first public library called the Kigali Public Library. The monopolization and the manipulation of media contributed to the genocide in 1994, and so members of the civil society sector decided to take it upon themselves to build the country's first public library, which has now spurred the development of other libraries and is helping improve literacy throughout the country and access to open and outside media sources. Yeah. Another example would be Indigo Africa, which partners with collectives of women, both Hutu and Tutsi, to create accessories and home decor products that can be sold in Western markets to Polo Ralph Lauren and Nicole Miller Anthropologie, and then the money, the profits, are then reinvested back into the collectives for education and other skills development.
Now, someone may want to know, in some of these areas, actually, there's still a lot of insecurity. Countries like DRC. How do you navigate that environment?
Security and safety are 2 things to definitely keep in mind when pursuing a social enterprise. Those involved must keep those factors in mind so that everybody involved in the project is safe. It may be the case that certain contexts are inhospitable to social enterprise, that they're too insecure or unstable to launch a venture. But experiments are certainly worthwhile, and there are experiments in social entrepreneurship occurring in DRC and other situations which we think are unstable.
Share with us a little bit how technology, especially now social media, is actually helping to facilitate this kind of entrepreneurial spirit.
Certainly, one of the reasons why I think social entrepreneurship is increasingly popular is precisely because technology is advancing so much every day, including and perhaps especially social media. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others can be used to fundraise in a process called crowdfunding or crowd raising, which essentially enables the public to directly contribute to social ventures and support the causes that they want.
Okay. And in terms of the other challenges in these areas, while people are struggling with insecurity, with poverty, they're also dealing with lack of infrastructure. And that includes electricity, which makes it possible to use social media.
That's absolutely right, and it's one of the challenges that social entrepreneurs face. Is if the social venture itself is dependent on infrastructure existing. Perhaps a prerequisite is actually to build that infrastructure. And so one of the things, for example, that we've been doing with Rwanda's first public library is to actually build the physical infrastructure to make it wireless, to partner with other organizations like One Laptop Per Child, to bring new technologies to the local population.
Yeah, great. And this is a great book I think everybody should read,
Thank you
whether
very
they're
much.
living in those countries or not.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, Zachary Kaufman, we thank you very much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
Vincent.
Zachary Kaufman is the editor of this fabulous book, Social Entrepreneurship in the Age of Atrocities Changing Our World.